Hello Internet, and we are live. I am Paul Jones, and today we're writing some code. Let's, first, a friend of mine asked me to go through the model layer of this, application, and, that's a good thing to start with. So let's do that. The source code is available at my GitHub page, github.com/pauljonescodes. I have some things I haven't committed yet, but they're not relevant to today's discussion. So I've deleted the README because the README is also no longer up to date. So let's go over some of the, how you might reverse engineer how parts of this app work. So the first thing you should always read is the package.json file, at least in a sort of Node application. In this case, the two sort of interesting commands are nextron dev, which are, it's a package of Next and Electron together, which is what I predominantly use for development. But then if you just want to run it in a browser, you can also, next dev is what you can do. And both of those things will go to the folder renderer. So renderer is really where all the application magic happens. And that would bring us, I guess, to... at this point you need to know a little bit about how Next works. So like in Next, the principal... every file that exports a default has a default export in pages, results in a page results in a URL path that you can access should you deploy the app. So index in this case would be the root of wherever it is that you deploy this. That's what you'll get. You'll get index. And so if we take a look at index, what we have. Let me think. Is this where I want to start? But there are special files. Like where's my? Yes. So there's that's the first one to get rendered, but the special file is app. App is the first thing to run, and so this is a really great file for finding out what this thing is doing. So this is the first thing that runs, and what we see is that a database gets made of some kind. Let's see, where does this come from? Oh, so this is just a stateful database, I guess. Okay, then we have a use effect, which means it's called anytime any of the dependencies change. Of which it has none, so it'll run just once. Create database, then set the database. Okay, so we'll take a look at that in a bit. And then we could read this stuff. What I can tell you is that everything else here is with regards to the theme, and my friend is specifically interested in the data layer. So let's take a look at this create database, which comes from this file, which, as with all files, I'm not 100% happy with the name, but it will do. So the database is an RxDB database. RxDB is like a DBMS for TypeScript, JavaScript, Node environments. It supports a lot of different storage options, and I think that's all there is to say about it. And the interesting thing here is the creation of the database. So we have a lot of plugins that you can take a look at the documentation for, or whatever, but this is just about configuring, because it has so many different ways that you can use it. It puts those things in plugins. This is the current set that I use. But the sort of interesting thing comes in its usage of TypeScript. So, create RX database comes from RxDB, and it takes a type. Let's see, is that actually right, now that I'm thinking about it? Yeah, so you pass in the collections that you want, and you give it a name, and you give it somewhere to store. And it will return you that database type. Now, this is how it determines what your quote-unquote model or schema is, and this is what I was talking about. This doesn't strictly have a model layer. It has a schema defining what I expect to put in it, but this is not an object that I can instantiate, strictly speaking. It's just describing what it is I expect to put in the database. Now, what's also interesting, and why I sort of say this doesn't have a model layer, is that this schema is actually constrained or related to another schema that... So this is what goes in the database. This is describing what goes in. And actually, strictly speaking, I don't have to do this. I could very well just put whatever I want in the database and get it back out. I just happen to constrain it to this. And where these constraints, in part, come from is also on the input side. So I use Formic and Yup in order to manage the state of forms. And I infer a type that I use to constrain what the database expects based on how I expect my forms to get validated. So this item inferred type comes from yup/item, so let's go take a look at it. And this is very familiar Yup stuff. Basically, this is like I've got a form, and I want to require some things of the form, like I want name to be required, I want price cents to be required, and the reason that stuff's required is because, well, that's the application logic. But this is not a model per se, this is really just saying what you expect to get out of a form. In fact, well, that's not what this does on its own, but it's how I use this schema. So Yup has this great system to export and infer, well, to create an inferred type based on a schema, which I call the item inferred type. I use this to create an item document, and you know, I could probably, if I was, and when I say I could probably, I mean I wish I could have figured out how to get all of this stuff, all of this like object definition straight from this inferred type, because it's all there. Date, time, string, numbers, even length you can all get from Yup, but just the conversion wasn't one-to-one, so I just determined, like, look, for now, I'm just gonna quickly bang this out. The other interesting thing about the model layer while we're here is that there's only... So we haven't actually seen what the application does yet, so this is not particularly... it won't be evident what I'm talking about yet, but just know that it's roughly a nutrition calculator, nutrition planner, but there's... and it has support for items, that are sort of ingredients, recipes, which are composed of items, plans, which are composed of ingredients or recipes, and today I hope to work on logging. And all of this actually comes from one sort of type of thing, and that's an item. And items have... One of the properties of items is that they have sub-items, which are actually items in and of themselves. So it's a recursive data structure in order to model something like a recipe or a plan being sort of a collection of items or recipes. So that happens using this this ref feature of, I think it's a feature of the JSON schema spec. So I have sub-items, which is an array of objects whose properties include count, which is the amount of that sub-item in the destination item, and then an item, which is just a reference to an item which is actually where we came from. And its type is string because it stores the ID. Now, something that I've been trying to figure out, actually, is when you delete an item, I would like to also delete sub-item entries for that item, but I have yet to be able to figure out how to query that out of the database. The spec argues that it's possible, but in my attempting it, have not verified that to be true. But it's possible I'm misusing it. So that's the model layer, quote-unquote, and how there's no model object. There's just a constraint on input that is used to constrain what gets stored. And yeah, there are types, but there is no, like, class, item class, or class ingredient class, or class, so there's a sense in which it's classless, I guess. I don't, you'll have to, the sort of, clickbait title is an application without a model layer, but the sort of truth of it is that, using types, I'm constraining, possible entries in my database and submissions from my forms, and that's kind of how I'm getting a model layer. And with that said, I think that's about it on that. It results in something that looks like this. So we have items, and this is just a diet plan here, and items have name, price, servings, etc. Recipes are things that oh, so we can click on this and just, I was testing very long strings yesterday. So plans have names and number of servings that they... Oh, sorry, this is a recipe. So a recipe has a name and number of servings that it makes, and it's composed of sub-items. And plans are somewhat like recipes, but the thing is that recipes can actually contain recipes, whereas plans cannot contain other plans. I suppose it's somewhat arbitrary, the constraint that plans can contain other plans, but that's how I anticipate using it. So like I guess I could see, you could probably argue for a case in which a plan consists of other plans, but this application is intended for use by individuals, and as such, I'm not allowing plans to be composed of subplans. Anyway, the task for today is to sync this application. So, for instance, this is it running in Electron, which is a bundled Chromium and Node runtime. And that's not the only place that the application can run, because, for instance, come here. For instance, I have it running here in at nutritionplanner.app. Yeah, nutritionplanner.app. And I think ideally, I should be able to update. I should be able to go to settings here, put in my database URL. As of today, I can manually import the JSON if I want. But what I would like, for my own personal use, and the whole reason that I'm creating this app, is that I would like to be able to have access to my recipes and my items on any of my devices, and log on any of my devices and have it sync. Yeah, and so I want to be able to go on the web and do it if I'm out. I want to be able to do it on my phone. I want to be able to use my tablet. You know what? However it is that you use your devices, I want to support that. So, further, I'm thinking that, well, the app is now available for anyone to use. It needs one more feature, I think, before it's feature complete. And that feature is log, as in I think you should be able to see a calendar and see entries into that calendar that sort of represent a sort of food diary for a day, or like a planned day, for instance. And then this application is complete. Yeah. So, my plan for today is when, so right now I have settings as another page, which, I mean, it's fine, but I guess I'm thinking, I kind of like the idea of, I hit this plus button and a little form comes up here on the right. I think when I hit the gear button, I think a form should come in from, the other side. I think I said right when I meant left. So that's that. And I do actually have up and running, I think this is safe to show, a CouchDB instance running on a subdomain of nutritionplanner.app. I kind of think it would be cool to at least attempt to get it to run on 443, which I think is the HTTPS default port. Okay, so that's a description of the model layer. I don't want to pay too much mind to try to get this to run on the port that I want it to, but I was reading the documentation, and I have reason to believe that it's possible. Let me just make sure none of this is sensitive information. That all looks fine. Yes, I was so, CJ asked, where are you hosting this, Linode? And I actually have it running on, what's the service? Bitnami on Google Cloud Platform. The issue, and I was very impressed with the sort of one-click to deploy that gave me, but, there were some problems. Like, configuring the firewall was just, like, so painful. And then, you would think that a company that's, like, packaging up CouchDB for use by sort of people that want to save time, you know, would just make sure that all the features work, but, there is something wrong with their configuration of CouchDB. You can't create users by default, and I'm not the only person to experience it. I commented on a GitHub ticket somewhere, so there was something wrong with it, and I can't figure it out. So, I just switched to Linode because I just followed one of their tutorials. It was like maybe 15 minutes today, and actually it was probably longer than that. My sense of time is very bad, but it worked first time. So there is authentication on the DB, unless you're telling me that you have tried or you have used it, and so like I have to log in here firstly, and I don't think I've created any databases yet. So anyone can access this, and I don't have any databases, but if I did, it would look something like that. And yes, you can request it, but I've configured it so that you need a username and password in order to read and write to it. Having said that, if you have a URL, if you have a user and a password that is valid, then yes, anyone can access a database. But only I can create, and yeah. So there should be authentication, and there's HTTPS. Nice little feature. I kind of want to get rid of this port. I was reading about where's my documentation? I must have gotten rid of it. So let's edit the configuration. Actually, first I want to know Apache list ports, I think? I don't know. Okay, let's see what I have here. So currently I'm accessing this through 6984, which I believe is their secure port. Oh, that's process ID, user type device, node. Aha, yes. So, CouchDB is listening for 6984. And what is... And that's actually it. Yeah, it is probably fine, but, I know that this is unlikely to get used by anyone but me. But what I would like is to be able to give someone a URL that doesn't include a scary-looking number. Because I do anticipate sharing this with normies. So that's why I'd like to change the port. Let me just try a naive approach. I don't think this is gonna work. But... And I can't show this on stream because it has, potentially sensitive information. So let's read the documentation. That's not sensitive. I can see if I can understand it. Bind address. Defines the IP address by which the clustered port is available. To let CouchDB listen any available IP address. Oh, I don't mind. IP is fine. Defines the port number to listen. So what I don't quite get actually is I think doesn't the like internal port have to well, I guess it doesn't have to say 5984, but it's fine if it internally refers to 5984, but I'm pretty sure HTTPS by default is 80. So what happens if I do that? Secure connection failed. An error occurred. So if this is theoretically the same as not having this here at all, as far as I know. But this actually just hangs. Oh. Thank you. Okay, so 443 does hang, so that's good. And 40 was rejected because it's wrong. Good. Then, I'm gonna change this value here to 443 in this configuration file, and we're gonna see if that fixes it. So I'm gonna restart the server. Okay, we've restarted. Let's see if I can... So I don't want you to access 80. See, what's odd is I've supposedly changed its... Like, I've read the documentation, and supposedly I've changed...
Treat me like the last time we lasted more than a bottle of wine without a fight. We were alright for a while.
So, CouchDB is still listening on 6984.
I feel myself acting in ways that I shouldn't do. I keep talking
And I don't see...
And it's always about you. You know I don't like to
anyone listening.
but I like to keep
So system
ahead of you. And it's always about you. It's only a matter of time before we like to unwind.
Oh, wait a minute. Okay. So that's still 6984. Change public port. I'm fairly certain I changed the correct key. CHTTPD. Port 443. Oh. So there's... If I just make this a little smaller, there's nothing sensitive. So as far as I'm aware, this configuration here should have changed its port, but I don't see evidence of that, so I'm just gonna try to figure out.
And it's always about you. You know I don't like to do.
So,
But I like
okay.
to keep.
This guy says try HTTPD, and I could investigate what the difference is, or
Before we like to unwind with other people.
I could just try it and see what happens. Okay. That's so odd. So, let's connect to make sure this doesn't, yeah, that doesn't show good. So I think there's a configuration. Oh, so I can actually edit it there. So, I'm gonna go ahead and undo my changes to whatever this is. I'm gonna restart CouchDB. Although, wait a minute, CHTTPD. Okay. Oh, that was I made that change. That was me. So let's refresh. I changed it back now. HTTPD is that. So I do like... well, should I change the configuration here? Is there a reset button? Okay, well... I'm just going to make sure that I save the existing values. So HTTPD is that. Screw it, let's change both of them. 443. I don't know what these do, I shouldn't be doing this. And CHTTPD is 594. I definitely shouldn't be changing both of them. I don't think that actually makes any sense. And let's restart it. Oh, whoopsies. No. And now... And now I've broken it. I don't feel very smart. Custom settings should be made in this file. They will override settings in default, but unlike changes, this file won't be overwritten on server upgrade. I am SSH'd into the box, yeah. I'm trying to find where I can undo the damage I just did. Let's see if I edit this file, it does what I need to do. So CHTTPD needs to be 5986, and HTTPD needs to be 5984. There we, no. There is a firewall set up. That is an excellent point. Let me go take a look at the firewall thing. Firewall list all. Oh my god, you were right. I am not allowing 443. So... Okay. That is a good point. Hey, what's going on, Dave? So you were just in time for me having bricked my stupid CouchDB instance. Okay, yes, I think I'm going to, just leave it. If, oh, damn it, it's not, this is cached or something. Hello. We actually have... Oh, we have 3 chats. We have a lot of... I wonder if I can... Let me get a chat overlay going so everyone can see it. That is, CJ's assessment is correct. If I add a... Let me see, where is it? Browser. Okay. And I place this in it. That's not what I wanted to put in it. There we go. That's chat. Let's make it a reasonable size. So its height should be what? 1080, and I think its width should be something like 320. Yeah, that's right. Cool. Let's see if we can reset CouchDB, because I have messed it up. Let's see. Damn, I really messed up. I think I might have an in here. Connection refused. Damn, I have really messed this up. Okay. We are just gonna reinstall CouchDB. But I'm gonna make sure. The only interesting thing about the current configuration is the SSL cert, so I do not want to lose that information. So just paste that there, and we will Google reinstall CouchDB. Where's my Linode one, actually? That one was good. Linode CouchDB. Oh, there's a reinstall command. Cool. Reinstall, what does the... What does -y do? Whatever, I'll just do it. I'm sure it's fine. sudo apt reinstall. Okay. Say yes to everything. Yeah, that's definitely the that's definitely the option I want. Okay. So that reinstalled it, but I'm not necessarily convinced that's gonna have done what I. Yeah, it has not done what I wanted to do. Oh, this is bad. It may actually. It's possible that I borked this completely, unfortunately. So it's not going to be that much of a bother. I think it's going to be less of a bother to just redo it than to go all through this again. Okay. Let's go to my Linode. So, can I possibly reset a Linode? That's actually very awesome on the part of Linode. They've maintained the SSH key and the root password that I've had. An image is required. My images. We will just go for LTS. SSH keys, yes please. I will be right back. Test. I forgot to hit the button. That's so cheeky that their things show up on the screen. And further, I was saying I I should have listened to you. I shouldn't have hit that button. I knew I shouldn't have hit the button, but I hit the button anyway, and now I've lost for like 30 minutes to it. Yep. But that's the... I mean, I don't know that I want to say that that's how you learn, because I've learned, let's say. I've learned before. Skip update, just straight to install. What? Okay, this stuff I have to hide. I'm not sure what a magic cookie is. I actually tried to Google it, and, I'm just gonna put in a sufficiently random string. Okay, a CouchDB node must bind to a specific network interface. This is done via IP address. Only a single address is supported at this time. 0 binds to all. The default is 127. Loopback for standalone. That's fine. Okay, password. Okay. Okay. That is done. Yes, yes. No need to do that now. Now what I shall do is... we'll do certbot next. Oh wait, yes, this is... oh, I forgot, yes, the new way is snap. That's fine, we'll do snap. Okay. What's your beef with certbot? To be honest, I find it a little bit magic. It's like, run this thing and you get, what is it, you get the lock that everyone wants. I'm sure it's some sort of CIA asset, having said that, but maybe I shouldn't say that on stream. Let's see. That all looks right. Yep. Oh, yes. So... I think this is because it needs me to install Apache 2, I think. Yeah, that's why I was here. Installing Apache. I could see it being terrible for container workflow. having said that, this is a much easier process for me than, I don't think it... Yeah, so it must be some sort of container workflow I did yesterday. So Let's Encrypt is from, the EFF, who I do actually believe are somewhat radical, at least in the, maybe modern concept of radical, as in maybe they shouldn't be radical, but, I think they might be considered radical. Okay. What did I do here? So I've just installed Apache 2. That should mean that I now have var www. Oh, I'll just quickly take this off. Okay. I think that may be it fixed. No. What have I... What am I missing here? Oh, I know what I'm missing. I need to... edit, what's the file? So the IP addresses stayed the same. So the DNS should be fine. Some things I do not like. Ubuntu, couch, db, configuration file. Maybe it's that, I don't know, let's see. User, local, etc. No, it's not that. I think it's OPT, yeah. OPT, CouchDB, etc, local, INI, cool. Okay, now I just need to tell it that SSL is enabled, and that, this is the server cert. Wait, is that right? It should be let's live. Yes, that is the cert. And now let's give it key file. And let's restart it. Okay. Is it 5984? I can't remember. 6984. CouchDB must not be running. CouchDB is running.
Faint lights in the distance, the thin line that separates your shadows from my soul. As these walls begin to fall, head lost in the silence, cold stars illuminate the secrets on your tongue and the poison in my lungs. Where every passage ends, a new road begins. The further I descend, your labyrinth.
I guess I could try SSH tunneling.
No cure for the madness. Each turn tangled in the fear of losing sight of the slowly fading light. Where every passage ends, a new road begins. The further I descend in your labyrinth.
Yeah, so the connection is being refused on that port. I don't know if ports are open by default, but if that's just our issue, then let's fix that. Ubuntu firewall couchdb. So we're allowing 6984. Connection still refused. What the hell is going on? Oh. Yeah. Okay. CJ may be right again. Let's check to make sure that this... No, it's the same number. Why is my connection still refused? So 594, both those connections are allowed. CouchDB is a running service. What in the living hell? Okay. Let's see what we have here, huh? Okay. I'm not sure what I'm expecting to see here, but I don't see any 5984, that's for sure. Because all these numbers are bigger than that. So then, that almost certainly means that something is not right. But I'm fairly certain I followed the instructions. So that's not my password, so I'm happy pasting this in there. So this should be running. Oh, name and password is incorrect. Okay, that's good. That means that it's running and listening. I'll try CJ's command here. So it's running. And it just accepted this. And let me see if I can pass it the actual password and have it, I forget what that command does, but let's just see what it does. Am I bound to 0000? I should be bound to 127. Okay. Stuck on localhost. Feature. So I'm going to temporarily disable SSL. Trying your command now. So it was saying that netstat is no longer available on Ubuntu. So, but what I can tell you is that I grepped this list here, but I can tell you 5984 almost certainly doesn't come up. I can see this is probably the most interesting stuff here. So TCP established, so 80, that's HTTP, that's probably Apache. Or no, I guess that's for SSH, I don't know. And I know that it's running. Let's see. I also know that I then could access it via SSL tunneling. But I want it opened up to the public web, obviously. Let's try... So this is over HTTPS. Let's try HTTP. 598. So it automatically upgrades me at this point. So we can... That might be a browser feature, so we can stop that happening. So it quite clearly is not... That port isn't open. But I don't think I've ever had to do this before. So the port is open, or the firewall allows it. Okay. Yeah, it's... Okay. Maybe I did do this before and I just have amnesia about it. I definitely never did 0000, so I mean, to a certain degree I must have done this and just forgotten. But I really don't think so. But I guess it can't hurt. And yeah, well, I find this very confusing, honestly, but let's do this for now, and let's see what happens. Yeah, whatever. There we go. It's now available on the public web. That's fantastic. Thank you very much, CJ. And now what we can also do is theoretically this SSL is likely working. But that's on 6984, right? I have no idea how I got this working before. No reply from... Oh, do I have the number wrong? To let CouchDB listen on any IP address, do this. Okay. So why does this hang? That's kind of interesting to me. So yeah, it's something to do... Oh, I know what I think I forgot to do. That would be... I think I need to give access to the CouchDB user to the certs. I think it's this. I love this song. Ah. Come on, there we go. Thank goodness. Now, for the initial setup, it's like this and like this. Did I copy this wrong? Oh, I did. Fantastic. Configure a single node. Ah, so this is probably where previously I did this step through SSH tunneling. That's what it'll be. And actually, I've already specified my admin credentials. So, what I can say from having messed around with CouchDB for a few days now is that it seems to be in a state where, and this is going to be very, like, this is a somewhat unsubstantiated opinion, but my general sense of what it is as a technology is the Apache Free Software Foundation saw the utility and value of, like, the Firebase Firestore tech, and was like, well, we need an open source version, and I don't know how they get funded or who just, but, you know, people decided to self-organize into making a competing product, and it's kind of only recently gone from, like, just a fun thing that people were making to, like, for instance, in version 2, up until version 3, all users were admins, and they only recently were like, actually, we can't have all users be admins. So, like, it's a very nascent technology, and a couple of the bugs that I've, like, ran into, on the GitHub, people say, oh, this is actually a bug with documentation, sorry, the documentation isn't keeping up. So, like, it's a little bit of a nascent product, like, I actually haven't used it very deeply, obviously, so I can't speak to how solid it is, but all I mean to say is that, it is not perfect, which I know is a very high bar, and so I've run into little issues like this, whereas, like, when I've installed Postgres, it's like, that is so, just completely airtight. So this is absolutely what happened before with regards to the way that the address got bound. Furthermore, there is, the issue that we ran into last time was a consequence of, I don't know where this configuration comes from or is stored, but I'm pretty sure it's actually in the database. Configuring a local node, it has to be it. So the reason we got into trouble last time was that I configured the local node such that I could not access it, and it is the final configuration that gets heard. So none of the stuff that I was doing in the configuration files mattered. Okay. But now, we're going to show a little bit of the power of what it can do. So let me think about this now. So I've already there have been 2 slips of the password on stream, so in terms of the admin password for this particular instance, all that stuff is going to have to change. So I'm now a little bit more comfortable showing how this stuff, well, my understanding of this tech. So this is the user's directory, and actually you can create a user here like this, but I think the easier way that I've seen is with the HTTP. Oh, actually, yeah, the HTTP API, which is just in the documentation. So I'm gonna go ahead and create a user, Paul Jones. And all of those parameters should be right. Okay. Now if I refresh this, now I have a user, Paul Jones. And if I were to now create a database, and we'll call this, say, something like Paul Jones create. Cool. So, what this should allow me to do... Let's go to document. No documents found. Now, if I go into my app and paste the URL of the database, now I think it's going to require a username and password. But one thing so let's actually connect to it without the username and password, just to see. Presumably it fail. I almost lose it. Oh, there it is. So we get an unauthorized. Excellent. That is working as intended then. But what I did note is that there's no option for a username here. So I wonder if it uses... because there is an option to send a user here, but this is the storage. This is not the remote. So that leads me to believe that it must be this. And this password has already been on stream, so it's already worked. So I'll have to fix that later. But let's see if this... oh, I need an @ sign. Okay, now we got a 403. You are not allowed to access this DB. Did I save that? I did save that. Oh, I think I might not have added myself as a user. Yeah, okay. So, I thought if no members are defined, the database is public. I had no users defined, so I don't understand that, but let's just add Paul Jones. And let's try again. There we go. That's worked. And now, if we go to Documents, there they are. Now, presumably, if I were to... If I were to get this running in a browser as well, so nvm use LTS. Yarn, is it dev next? Let me check. Next dev. So let's bring it up in a browser here. The same code. This is something that I added at another time. What does the console say? Ah, interesting. Cores has failed. So I've actually disabled cores here. But obviously I can't disable cores when it's running in a browser. And I also won't be able to disable cores so... the scripts are... Let me take a look what you're talking about. Oh! So this is the default configuration files. Oh, I see. That makes sense. That's a convenience I did not know about. So I am actually interested in configuration here, as in cores. So, cross-origin resource sharing lets you connect to remote servers directly from your browser, so you can host browser-based apps and static pages and talk directly with CouchDB to load your data. Cores is disabled. Okay, well, let's enable it. So this is kind of cool. I can now say, limit it to this, obviously. Oh, so it takes HTTPS. And my configuration currently... Well, for now I'm going to allow all domains. Because I want to support localhost, and I anticipate doing... Well, I guess I could use OR, right? But I guess... If I allow localhost, it's essentially allowing anything. So whatever. Now... So, this is an interesting case to me because I believe I've now allowed this through cores. Oh my gosh, it actually started working before refreshing. Holy shit. That is wild. Now what I'm curious about is, did it it did. It override. Oh no, it's here. This item is here. But surely this item should then show up here as well. And there it does! Oh my god, that is nuts! That is absolutely bananas. Okay, so let's delete it. Yeah. That is crazy! That is crazy fucking cool. That is so cool. So, with that, it's time to make this a configuration so that, the URL can be changed by the user. So, this will be fairly simple relative to what we just did. It'll be just a matter of creating a new drawer. Where do I store those? Components, drawers, new file, settings, drawer. And yeah, that feeling of it all coming together, I mean, that dopamine hit, that's why we do it. That's why we do it. It's also why I don't play Factorio, because if I got hooked on that, it would just be, this would be a Factorio stream, and that would be the end of my life. Oh my god. Okay. That's cool as fuck. Now, we don't need to do this. We can just do... yeah, we'll just grab all... no, I'm not gonna... Why does my computer feel so sluggish? I think there might be something crazy going on with the web app. Is it sending off a lot of network requests? It's gotta be. Feels so Test, come back. No. I think we're back. Oh, it's so slow. Okay, we're coming back.
To say what you wanna hear, I will bite
Are we catching up?
my tongue till I disappear.
I think we may be back. I think we may be back. My computer is definitely struggling. In fact, I can see my local video on OBS has delayed by a lot. The Linux drivers for media are really not that good. I hate to blame them, but it's true. Let's see if I can. I'll go. Test. So my computer appears to have recovered somewhat, but I don't think the stream has. I actually don't know the behavior of stopping a stream and restarting it, so I guess we'll find out. I think what I'm gonna do to solve this is I'm gonna remove my video capture. And we're just gonna live with the slight desync, because I think if I stop the stream it becomes non-concurrent. Okay, so that is potentially a very bad sign for CouchDB, RxDB. Wow, it is so desynced. Why is that? So, we'll use this as an opportunity to test the stop stream, hard shutdown, restart to see if it remains as a concurrent YouTube video, or if it's like, oh, you failed to connect, so that must be a new YouTube video. So, we'll just see what happens. I'm gonna